Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the Super Bowl 58, and now we're going to dive into the NBA and their
I
new.
wasn't talking about that. I was talking about Taylor Swift showing up at halftime.
Okay, well, we were also talking about which is part of Super Bowl 58. But now we're going to be diving into the NBA and their futuristic glass court for the All Stars weekend. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you like the show and you want to send us a comment, you can do that by using the tips and donation link, which is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. It puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. But let's talk about this.
Okay, I got a question before you dive into this.
Yes.
Did you freeze up? Did you notice that you froze up? Or I'm not sure if we did, but man, on
No.
I on my side you froze, so then you came
Oh.
back in, so I just ran with it.
Oops.
So
Oopsie.
it's all good. I guess technical difficulties on my side then.
Oops. All right. So the NBA unveils a futuristic glass court for the All Stars weekend, and fans have strong opinions about it.
Oh, I bet you they do.
So the NBA unveiled a court design that has never been seen before ahead of the 2024 All-Star Game weekend. The court will be one giant LED screen, which essentially will mimic a television screen, with the power to change the design and color of the court throughout the game. The court was developed by a German company, ASB Glass Floor, and has been used in events by FIBA, the sports governing body. FIBA approved usage of LED glass flooring at top-tier competitions in 2022. The league didn't reveal what the court cost, other than it's more expensive than a wood surface, obviously. The contest with planned animations includes the skill contest, the three-point contest between Curry and Ionescu, and the slam dunk contest. The All-Star game itself, however, will remain on a wooden court.
Okay.
So,
First off, you were saying that people feel very strongly both ways.
yes. Mm-hmm.
You're always gonna get grandpa get off my lawn guy. It was better when I was walking both ways, going to school, walking uphill both ways while
Mm-hmm.
carrying a tractor on my back. You know, it's this is the All-Star game. The All-Star game needs some more excitement. If
Mm-hmm.
it was me, I not only that they should play the All-Star game that way, I'd be up for it if they changed the entire floor for the entire season this way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's amazing. There's some great technology out there that can catapult the NBA to the next level. And baseball the same way. And baseball's finally, after like 9 million years, are finally doing some things that make it a lot more interesting. But when you look at these courts and how they light up and changes colors and all this stuff, it just makes the game more interesting. Sometimes, especially with an NBA game, there are sometimes you're watching a game, a Wednesday game. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder versus Charlotte, and it's just not, you're like, well, let me see what else is on. Well, changing the court up a little bit makes it a little bit more interesting. Make it a little bit more NBA 2K,
Yeah,
where
that's what they said it's kind of gonna be like.
yes, and which can make it even more awesome. If you can make it where you can show the replay on the court on during timeouts and do so much, there's so much more you can do. I was watching some of the videos and how it lights up and it shows different graphics and things. You know, imagine when LeBron drove and scored and broke Kareem's record, and it's just a big old display of how many points he's had. A big, there's so much the production value people don't realize. It helps the audience out that's at the arena. It helps the television audience. It helps the game. Uh, so I don't see why they would not like it because I absolutely love it. And when you watch FIFA, when you watch some of the games of FIFA, I thought they were super cool.
Mm. I will
What
say
did you think?
it is really cool and like would make the game more fun to watch. But I mean for me, if I was playing basketball on a court that was lighting up and displaying stuff, do you know how distracted
Yes. Okay. There
I would
has to.
get
Okay. Wait.
so
Wait.
distracted.
We don't need anyone. The lights is changing and everyone starts, having seizures on the court. No, I don't mean. So while the game is playing, yes, you should have it look like a regular court.
Mm,
It shouldn't be changing.
mm-hmm,
I'm saying during halftime, during halftime, during the breaks, having it light up, doing different things, kind of like the Sphere in Vegas. That's amazing.
mm-hmm,
And you could do the same thing like that, but on the basketball court. You have a court, you have it this color for the first half, and you have a totally different court for the second half. It just makes it, really cool when you're endorsement dollars and things of that nature. Bringing up one of your sponsors right on the court during halftime. I think there's so much you can be done, spotlighting some of the other players and showing graphics and stats instead of it being on a billboard, the court. LeBron, I keep using LeBron because he's the biggest name. LeBron halftime, 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. Showing what the players have. It's right there on the court. I think that's awesome. And when I saw the graphics for the FIFA, I had never seen it. But when I started watching it, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I am
mm-hmm.
all for it. I think people should lighten up a little bit because people do not like change. But change is what moves the game to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't, it's like I like the game the way it was. Well, guess what? The way it was, it started out playing. You're throwing a soccer ball through a peach basket. Well, if you're going to be that traditional, do you want to take it back there?
Mm-hmm.
Advance. That's kind of the way I see it. What do you say?
Um, I agree. I do think that when the players are on the court, I don't think
No, you can't.
it
You can't
shouldn't
change
be
that. Then
super
yes.
crazy. But they said that they're gonna like, I think from what I read, if I'm correct, they'll have like little circles around or like little fire streams from players moving on the court. So I think they're going to have animations on the court while people are playing.
Now that
So
one that's
yeah,
that's tricky because
yeah,
Steph Curry does a crossover, does a fadeaway, and a little circle lights up around him. He looks down and misses the shot.
yeah,
Yeah, now that would be there would be
yeah.
talk about Mr. Get Off My Lawn guy. Let's say a last second jumper goes awry because the guy's putting a fire emoji around Steph Curry. People are gonna lose their darn mind on that one.
Yeah, they said fans were both amazed and wary of what this futuristic court could entail. Many think it will be difficult to concentrate on the players in action on the court with the distractions appearing on the floor. So,
Yeah, no, you cannot when the game is in play, I think it should just be a static court.
mm,
Just make it look whatever you design you want it to be, that's what the court is.
mm,
I'm talking about make the changes during timeouts, in between quarters, at
mm,
halftime. Think about the halftime show and all the things they do now.
mm,
It takes it to the next level.
yeah.
If it was, but see, I'm the extreme guy. I'm like, not only would I have the court this way, my arena would be like the Sphere. I'd have the walls lighting up, everything. I know that's a little extreme, but you know, and the reason why I embrace this is kind of I'm an MMA fan, and I've trained MMA and everything
Mm-hmm.
for many years. And Dana White is working on doing a UFC event at the Sphere in Vegas. And I think that's going to be an amazing event, an amazing situation to have an event like that. But I think more sports fans need to start embracing technology and how it expands the game. There's a lot of guys that are traditionalists, and I respect the traditionalists, but the game is becoming for the young. And I think you should embrace some of the new technologies. Uh, I get, hey, you're 60 and this is the way Pistol Pete played it and Kareem and this and that, but we're in a new generation. We're in a new century.
Mm-hmm.
You know, embrace the technology. I think it would help the game. The NBA is growing by leaps and bounds, and I think this could really help the NBA. So I love it. I must admit, I think it's absolutely amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It actually makes me want to see kind of the All-Star game isn't the most exciting game in the world. So I'm more interested in seeing how it's going to go with the court. And I'm more likely to watch the All-Star game this year because I'm very curious about it
Mm-hmm.
than previously years where it's not a lot of defense. It's not really it's an exhibition game. No one's really playing hard. So I think this is a nice wrinkle that the NBA is introducing that I approve of.
I'm curious what the surface of the floor is like, and if that is going to like mess with players at all. Like if it's going to be similar surface to a wood court, or if it's going to be different. I'm just wondering if that's going to do
Well,
anything.
I'm less curious about that. That was my initially
Mm-hmm.
that was my curiosity about it. But then I started watching some of the FIBA games and seeing how that went. And it performed incredibly well. You know, it was very different and it was very cool how the way the courts lit up and everything and the colors and things that they put together. But I really liked it and I didn't really see a change in the quality of play. Players could still stop, they could still make their crossover, they could still drive to the hole. Everything that you would see in a normal game, you can see. And when you think about NBA or basketball in general, from kids playing on the hardwood to people playing on concrete to people playing on a painted surface, the biggest thing is, are the basketball shoes able to get traction? And the answer, from what I have seen by looking at the pictures, the answer is yes. They're looking at the videos. It's yes. They have the traction. They're able to do the crossover. It's not affecting the ball. It's not affecting the shoes. It's not affecting the jumping ability. The only thing it's doing is adding more production value to the game. That's why I'm a big proponent for it.
Well, I think I might watch the All Star games too, because
So
I think
it's intriguing, right? You're
yeah, it
kind of
is
curious to see
intriguing.
how it
Yeah.
is. That's that's a major change that I think could be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of breaks up the game a little bit. You see the same court over and over and over. It's an 82 game season.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to have each week, each game, a totally different design, designed by this person, designed by that person, so that you're upping the production value and the must see uh make of the event. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
So I love it.
I think it'll be cool to see. I wonder if they're gonna change up some things though after like kind of playing around with it at the All
Oh yeah, they're
Star
gonna tweak it. They're gonna
weekend.
have to tweak it. Yes.
Yeah, just to see, I wonder if the players are going to get distracted at all. That's my only.
Oh, if they're I would be against them. If you cannot be doing graphics and things during the game. But during a timeout, if you're showing a replay on the court and you're drawing a circle around, James Harden and Westbrook, and you're showing a graphic how they drove to the court, and you're watching it on the court. That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. I will admit that. Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. So, all right, you agree with me.
To an extent, yeah, but I do understand how some people are like, I'm gonna get distracted watching the game. I understand both sides, but I do think it's cool to implement new technologies into things, because it's a changing world we live in, and
yes, stay up with the times, or you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Pay What You Can restaurant in Fort Worth, Texas.